gifts. Messenger also is online at traditionalcatholicstore.com. That's traditionalcatholicstore.com. And whatever way you're listening right now, we want you to be able to take us with you no matter where you go. So you can listen on your radio at 101.7 Lindsborg and Salina, 105.7 Hayes, 88.1 Great Bend, 88.1 Hayes, and 89.1 Colby. And you can listen live at dvmercy.com. You can download us on your smartphone by going to your app or Play Store. You can also listen to us on your Amazon Alexa by saying enable Divine Mercy radio skill, and then you just announce which station you are wanting it to enable for. After that, you should just be able to say, Alexa, play Divine Mercy radio, for example, in Hayes. I also sometimes forget to turn and look, but we are on live on Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. And also want to remind people that you can text on that. You can go ahead and put a text into us at 785-621-4110. You can call for any of the on-air guests for a question at 785-621-5061. Or you can go ahead and put into the chat stream of Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, whichever site they have it on there. And Michael Logger will get that question over to me. So if you're listening to us and you have a question you really want to ask one of these guests, please put them on the hot seat. Call in, text us, do whatever you need to get your question so we can have them answer it. All right. We are getting ready to welcome in here a couple of wonderful people. They've been a big part of my life also. And before we get there, I've got just a couple more announcements. One, I want to thank Mark Hurl, who upped his pledge $10 a month. So that's an additional $120 a year. Thank you so very much, Mark, for that. We will be able to use some of those matching funds to double that gift. That is absolutely wonderful. And then I want to get to our first trivia question of this hour. So get your phones ready. Call in to 785-621-4110. And if you have this question right, then we will put you in a drawing for the end of the day. We will draw one winner who will get a $50 gift certificate from Messenger, Traditional Catholic Books and Gifts here in Hayes. Jerome and Angela Schmeidler are the owners of that beautiful store. Go see it. Go support them. They support us. Here is your question. What show on Divine Mercy Radio commonly features priests from its listening area? Is it A, One Body Stewarding God's Creation, B, Word on Fire, C, Double-Edged Sword, or D, Fatherly Figures? What show on Divine Mercy Radio commonly features priests from its listening area? A, One Body Stewarding God's Creation, B, Word on Fire, C, Double-Edged Sword, or D, Fatherly Figures? 785-621-4110 for your guess, your pledge, or both. All right. I want to welcome in Mr. Chad Meitner. Sorry, Mr. Meitner.
No problem.
I'm trying to deal with the buttons and speak at the same time. And obviously my brain doesn't work. So I want to welcome in Mr. Chad Meitner and Melissa Schoepf. How are you guys doing today?
They're doing fantastic.
Great.
Okay. Hopefully while the cat's away, the mice won't play. So
yeah. And especially at the end of the year, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. I think we'll be okay. So Chad grew up in Hoisington. He attended Friends University in Wichita to study English and Spanish. While studying abroad in Mexico and Costa Rica, Chad discovered that he wanted to teach Spanish and help youth. He went to the University of Kansas to obtain his master's of curriculum and instruction and taught as a Spanish and ESL teacher. After teaching, he became the principal at Sacred Heart Cathedral Catholic School in Dodge City in 2010. He then took the reins at TMP, Thomas More Prep Marian, in 2015, moving to Hayes with his wife, Sarah, and their 5 children, Julia, Henry, Charles, Leo, and Abe. Except for he goes by Charlie, doesn't he?
Does
it matter?
No, we call him both.
Okay.
His official name is Charles, so he has to live with that.
All right. No, that's like Joshua, our son. We named him Joshua because we want him called Joshua, but a lot of people call him Josh.
Yeah, he's Charlie to his friends, and yeah.
Okay. Chad also loves to work with others to accomplish great things and make life better for students, teachers, and families. Awesome. Melissa, who we have in here, is the junior high principal, correct? Okay. Chad is the high school principal, among other hats that they wear, but that's the overarching thing that they do. Melissa grew up in Hayes, and after graduating high school, she earned a bachelor's degree in mathematics while competing in softball. After spending a few years in Washington, D.C. and Kansas City, she discovered her calling as a teacher, and that is a calling. Oh, my goodness. She returned to Fort Hays State University to earn a master's degree in education. She accepted the opportunity to return to TMP to join the first junior high teaching staff. She now serves as the assistant junior high principal. She and her husband, Brian, have 2 daughters who are active in their own activities, which keeps Melissa and Brian quite busy. Absolutely. Okay, now those are quite the intros, but let's get to what we want to talk today. So you both here are in the administrative side of the Catholic schools, and so kind of give us an update on what's going on, what is new this year with Thomas More Prep Marion Junior and high school, we just moved the 6th grade up. Anything that you guys want to talk about? Who wants to take the reins?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the biggest things this year was having the 6th graders come over. So I'll let Melissa kind of start with that because it feels like it's always been that way now after almost a year, but it was not this time last year. We were busily preparing for this new phase in TMP's history. So,
okay.
Yeah. That was a kind of a 2-year process when we first decided that move was going to take place. And took a year to get ready for everything. Construction, we have all new construction out there with new classrooms, and all that back work that it takes to bring over. Even though it's just moving a classroom, there's a lot that goes into that. We needed room, we needed teachers, curriculum, and just the dynamic that was going to maybe change in the school, bringing 6th grade. But they have came in, great class that came in, great 6th grade class that came in. I think that they really have done a good job. This was a good year to bring them over. And we're still kind of finding things, which we knew were going to take place because it's an additional 42 kids in the building that we needed to be prepared for. But the level of energy that they bring to the building, you could tell right away. And I think it's a good thing. It's good for the culture of the school and to just have that excitement of those kids. So they are all settled in. Things are going smooth. I think the transition's been great. We were able to bring over some great teachers that have really helped with those 6th grade. Our main goal was to bring them over, give them a year to just kind of figure out life of junior high. If anybody that has junior high kids, that age and just the dynamics that come with that age group. But
sometimes you can use 4 years to prepare for junior high and it's not enough.
It's not. And
that's so true.
Yeah. So they gives them a year to just kind of be kids and travel around to different teachers, learn how to use lockers, learn how to move to classes, have 8 different teachers, learn how to operate their Chromebook, learn how to work with email to be able to communicate because they're used to being contained with one teacher all day. And so this is very different. And then that lets them ease into the 7th and 8th grade years where then everything just changes, where now you're in activities and you're at practices. One thing that I think has been really nice is we have been able to include our 6th grade in a lot of clubs and activities. They are getting opportunities to go do some of our service projects like Meals on Wheels and visiting the nursing home. Our garden club has grown tremendously. That has been like a 6th grade pipeline. We have a lot of kids that go out there and work.
That is great.
Yeah, it's awesome. So chess, they're involved in chess. So even though they're not allowed to do the Acacia sports, they have definitely found different activities that they can get involved in, play, musical, all kinds of things. So
that is fantastic. And I can say from a parental standpoint too, I really appreciate it and really like it because, now we do really have that fully dedicated junior high, which is really great. And like I said, from the parental standpoint, I think it's been fantastic. In fact, when the renovations were done, I went up there and I was like, what in the world? That is pretty awesome what they did with this space. It's just fantastic what the school was able to do and is able to offer these kids. And I think it's a great thing. So, Chad,
Yeah.
did you have anything to add to that?
No, Melissa explained it perfectly. Just that transition year to give those kids a chance to get used to it, because junior high is a tough age. I think we can all remember back to when we were in junior high, and there were some good times, but there are also some just tough transitions and phases of life that these kids are going through.
Yeah.
And so to be able to navigate that with that year with just a little less on their plate is huge. And I think that's going to help them just enjoy their 7th and 8th grade years all the more.
Yeah.
One of the another big thing new this year is our teaching sisters, one of which is in teaching 6th graders and 8th graders, and then one is in the high school with the freshmen and juniors. So having the sisters there has been a nice addition to our faculty, and as well as the religious culture, the Catholic culture that we're trying to continue to build and maintain in the school.
Yeah, absolutely. I once again, from the parental standpoint, that is wonderful. Because anytime we can have all kinds of vocations, we have single people teaching, we have married people teaching. We've got a priest that's able to be on site as much as possible. We've got religious. I mean, you guys have everything.
We're very blessed. The bishop has been so generous to us, and Hayes is welcoming to that. So that's part of it. I mean, those sisters wouldn't be able to be here if there wasn't a community surrounding and supporting that. And we have an abundance of riches, no doubt.
Absolutely. Going to break in really quickly to congratulate Ann Huguenin, a wonderful lady in our community. She is our winner, our trivia winner for the first question. The question was, what show on Divine Mercy Radio commonly features priests from its listening area? And the correct answer there is a double-edged sword. If you haven't listened to that, it is well worth your listening to. Tune into that and find the double-edged sword program. Very often, Father is on there. We have all kinds of priests on there. But we've got all kinds of great things, great topics that are being talked about on the Double-Edged Sword program. You're listening to Divine Mercy Radio's Spring Care-a-thon, Come Follow Me. And so I want to remind people that we have this Care-a-thon going on so that we can keep our radio stations on the air, because we are completely listener funded. We've got that total goal of $125,000 to reach by the end of the week. You guys have been doing an amazing job already, calling in with those pledges and using up the funds that we have that are those matching funds. So matching funds, pretty easy to figure out, but if you don't know, they just take whatever amount that you donate, that immediately becomes doubled. And that's because we have donors within our listening areas who know the importance of what is going on, know the importance of Catholic radio, and believe in our mission. So we ask that you would partner with us, partner with them, use their money. It is it's free money given out to you to help you double your pledge. 785-621-4110. Okay, we are on talking with Chad Meitner and Melissa Schoepf. And we're talking about the Catholic schools, getting some updates on new things that are going on. We just got done talking about the new 6th grade. And I think there are a lot of other good things that are happening too. So let's get back into talking about other developments and new things that are happening within Thomas More Prep Marion.
Well, one of the things that it's kind of been on the radar for a year is our creative learning building. Our construction of that has been delayed a little bit due to the utilities, trying to figure out how the utilities would work. We're back on track now, and hopefully you're going to be able to break ground here in the summer or very early fall. And that's, to me, that's real exciting, because as a teacher and an administrator and getting to see the kids in the classroom and in the different places on our campus, we really need this space to take it to the next level for that creative learning. Yeah. So that being able to prototype ideas, bring their creativity to life. There's going to be spaces for welding in here. There's going to be CNC routers. There's going to be 3D printing. There's going to be a greenhouse. There's going to be large format printers. All these different technologies that we have are going to be in one place that's really built to house them and have collaborative learning going on. So it's real exciting, and it wouldn't be possible without a lot of generous people around here making that happen for us to have a facility like that. And can't wait to get it built.
Absolutely. I think that's a beautiful thing that you guys are offering, because, for those kids who are more hands-on, technical, want to learn those skills that, they now have the opportunity. Hey, we got it for you. And so you guys are also going to have some of those big printers where you can print signs, banners, and stuff like
Correct.
that.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. Posters
fantastic.
and so it's going to create a synergy. I think the teachers are excited for it because, like you mentioned, preparing kids now is not just about saying you have to be able to take notes. That's still part of it.
Yeah.
And then do well on exams or write papers. That's still a big part of maybe the college experience. And whether you're going to college or not, this building is going to have something for you in your education. Teachers are going to be, we're going to have a business teacher that's going to be able to collaborate with the biology teacher, that's going to be able to collaborate with the woods teacher. And the kids are going to have to come up with projects, and whether it's, okay, we were going to create this object, now we're going to market it, and now we're going to, the design phase is going to require the math and the science. All these different elements they're learning in their different classes will be able to come together in a building like this.
That is really cool, the collaboration, because, earlier I had some people on and talking about kind of the holistic approach that TMP Marion offers, is that we are concerned with the whole child, and which is why you find faith in every classroom, not just the theology department.
Yeah.
But this sounds a lot of the same. Is we can have the different departments collaborate together on a single project for these kids, so that they learn how to bring things in from everywhere and not keep everything just compartmentalized.
Right. Yeah. If you see the world in just silos, it really limits how effective you're going to be when you get out of high school. And we want our kids, like you just said, to be well-rounded, ethical, faithful, and hardworking, and to be able to take that and see that creativity is a reflection of who they are and the gifts that God's given them. And so share that, use that. And hopefully by doing that in high school, they'll just be that much more prepared to excel when they're adults.
That's awesome. Melissa, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I just, we talked about the building, and just super appreciative of the amount of people that support the projects that, the dreams and the ideas that people come up with. We always tell our teachers and staff to dream big and see what we can do. And so to see this come to light, just blown away and very thankful to all the people that make that possible. And that's one thing I've just really have noticed at TMP is everybody's got the same mission. Everybody's in for this. We all believe in what we're doing. Parents, donors, faculty, staff, truly believe in that. And so you can definitely see when people are passionate about something, the things we're able to accomplish and take care of for our students. And so I'm real excited for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like to even plug in. I mean, there were some families that did some really major gifts to help make that happen. And like the Hess family, the Gottschalk family, Schmeidlers, Carlene's, the Coons, just a lot. And then countless ones I don't have time to say on here in the radio who gave what they could, whether it was in kind or financially, to help make this a reality. And, a lot of these people don't have kids in the school, don't have relatives in the school, but they believe in the mission, and they want to see a Catholic school be able to offer that wide variety of opportunities, just like any other school.
Absolutely. Yeah. So then I don't want to get into finances too much, but just so that people know, in our area, we are blessed to be in the stewardship model. I know that it's very expensive to be able to teach a child for a year. There's so much that goes into that I don't know that a lot of people know. But because of our stewardship model, we're so blessed that our parishes help to subsidize those costs for our children to be able to have that Catholic education. But still, those costs are really high. And with costs going up, it's not easy to meet. And so one of the things that TMP has done for this was 50 years is the ACE auction. And I know the ACE auction helps us to bring in a lot of the funds we need so that we can keep costs down for students, but it also has other functions. So being that this was the 50th anniversary of ACE, what would you guys like to speak to about ACE, maybe about item 60 or any of those other things that go along with it?
Yeah. Kind of when ACE, the Golden Legacy was our item 60. So it wasn't a traditional, like we were used to, a capital improvement, project. But it really was saying, we are so thankful for the generations before us who gave us the foundation we have now. I mean, just imagine, you mentioned the costs, trying to start a school from scratch now. I mean, I don't know if it could be done even with the strong support we have in this community, because it's just so expensive, right? To build a whole new building and start from scratch and go into the unknown. Well, we already have that foundation here, and we wanted to be able to build on that for the next 50 years, so that people 50 years from now will look back and thank us for what we did for Catholic education. And so that was why such an ambitious goal was set of $1 million to establish that foundation for the next 50 years, to go towards the initiatives and the development of the school. And that was the ACE item 160. And just go back a second on your stewardship comment. Stewardship, right? In Catholic school situations modeling, you can pay tuition and fees full price, which a lot of Catholic schools, especially on the coasts, kind of had to go to that model in urban areas, in the 70s and the 80s. And a lot of times then you become a school that can only have children from a certain socioeconomic status group. We're blessed because stewardship means you give your time, your talents, what treasures you do have financially to pitch in. And that opens it up to where the parish, like you said, will support that, so that most families are able to come here. If they want it bad enough, there's an economic way to do it. And we're very blessed because not very many schools have that model, and it's really just a tuition, and it's $7,000-8,000 a year or something. And we're way below that. We're below $2,000 a year, even at the high school level, and less than that for the elementary school. So
Melissa.
I love ACE auction. It's just when we get to that time of the year, it's just exciting. Now that I've been at TMP, what would this be, like 11 to, I don't know, forever. It seems like probably. When you get there, you just you're seeing the people that don't have kids there anymore that are still supporting the schools. I'm starting to see kids that I taught coming back and buying tables and buying things. And I'm seeing these parents of these younger kids now coming in and filling in. And so you just walk in there and it's just like, this is a family. This is to whatever aspect you're still involved. Once you're at TMP, you're in forever. Whether your kids are there or not. And as a family, you don't always agree on everything. But everybody there is there for the one reason, and that's to see the school succeed and to see things. And so that's what I love when I walk into ACE, is you just have this variety of the ones that have been through it, have lived through these times, and their kids are now gone, but they still truly believe in what we're doing. And you see the ones that are just now getting out and starting to recognize maybe just their education now and things like that. The new families, the excitement, and you see them when they're coming in kindergarten, first grade, and that excitement, and it's just like, this is awesome. This is awesome. You're part of something so much bigger than you even realize. And it's just great. That's my favorite time of the year, is when ACE rolls around and you start feeling that excitement in the building and seeing everybody.
Absolutely. As you brought it up, seeing those students come back and stuff like that. I mean, it is makes me feel a little old, but it's pretty cool to know that, we've got several former students now teaching at Holy Family, and we've got former students who help coach and all kinds of stuff. And it's just, wow. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's such an awesome thing to see them come back and see the blessings that they were giving and want to pass it on to the next generation, which kind of keeps us in that stewardship mentality. So obviously we don't have to mention names, but, the stewardship model that we live, we all know that, it's not just, well, I give to my school, or I give to my church, they give to you, whatever. What do you guys see as for parents? Because what I know is, a lot of places, they pay their gate workers. We don't do that.
No,
We
yeah.
have parents and other people, like you said, even people who don't even have kids there anymore, who volunteer their time because they believe in the stewardship model of making sure that these schools are safeguarded for the next generation. So, would you guys be able to speak to that a little bit too, and where you see the community using their time and their talent to help further this mission?
Yeah, I think you see that every day in the buildings. People that, like I said, truly believe in Catholic education and the bigger picture of things, and the volunteers and people just stepping up. I mean, every day we have people coming in the building serving lunches. If we ask, as a softball coach, um, that's I've been incredibly blessed with that. I walk into a lot of softball fields, and I have parents that go and maintain that complex every season, and the amount of work and hours, and it's a lot of these people, they don't want recognition, they don't ask for a lot, and they're all behind doors. But again, it goes back to uh, believing in what we're doing, and believing in what, when students walk out of here, that we're setting them on the best path we can for a life ahead of them, with challenges, whether it's faith, all aspects. We want them fully guarded, and I think that's very true of our volunteers.
Yeah, we see. Yeah, like you mentioned, the gate workers. You've got people that do the public address systems for all the games, just because they enjoy it and they want to watch the kids and support them.
Yeah.
You've got, when we do, we put that new football field, soccer field, turf. It's a grass, natural turf, but we had people who knew how to do the drainage. They knew the city regulations, so they made sure we were in compliance with the city, and things I would have never known as a principal is like, oh yeah, you need to get a permit to make sure you don't have dirt, erosion control runoff is taken care of. So just people coming in and saying, hey, did you do this? I can help you with that. Whether it's a parking lot or a game, the lunchroom, like Melissa said, there's people all the time coming in there and helping. And I think that inspires the kids. I hope it does, and other parents to get involved too. Because I think we're all happier when we have a task and we're making a difference. And so whether it's people who are supporting us financially or with their talents, it is a uplifting thing.
Absolutely. I was even thinking as you're talking, we have a couple parents who drive the bus,
right?
The big buses,
yeah, which is a very specialized skill.
Yes, to have your CDL, and I know just through talking with James, who does all of the scheduling for the transportation and stuff. I mean, that can be a nightmare. And to have those parents say, "Yeah, I can do it today." I mean, especially on a moment's notice, those people are wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thank you to all of you who are out there listening. Thank you for all of you who have children there, and even those especially who don't and still give. That is awesome. We really appreciate it. I also want to thank Mark and Cindy Washburn, some wonderful people within our community. They pledged $500. So with those matching funds, that just became $1,000 for this hour. Thank you so very much. If they allowed me to ring the bell, I would still ring the bell. But as I said yesterday, they got tired of hearing it. So we'll just pretend ring a bell here. But thank you so very much. We appreciate it. Call into 785-621-4110 for your pledges. Help us to get to that total goal of $125,000 by the end of the week. And if you want to know where we're at, you can go to dvmercy.com, and we do have a thermometer there that will show you exactly where we're at within raising those funds. So you can go there. Also, before that pledge, we had $10,365 left in matching funds. And so let's keep using up those matching funds. Remember, those are there so that your donation immediately gets doubled. There's nothing better we can do than to double your money right away. So partner with us. Send us your prayers. Send us your donations. 785-621-4110. And I will get to another trivia question in a few. We're going to go back to Melissa Schoepf, Mr. Chad Meitner, and we're going to continue talking about then our Catholic schools and what is going on in them. So Yesterday I had Dr. Nick Compagnon on and had a great conversation with him. And one thing that I think we need to do is we need to brag up our schools a little bit, not in a prideful way, but just in a simple, what are some of the things that we're seeing that are really great things that are coming out of our Catholic schools? So do you guys have anything in regards to that you could share with us?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, you're right. I think sometimes we don't want to brag up on those things because then it maybe invites criticism. Say, oh well, yeah, that's great, but it's okay. We're not perfect. I don't think we've ever claimed to be perfect. We know that we all make mistakes, from our students to our faculty to our parents. We all will make mistakes from time to time, but the overall body of work is amazing. And like Melissa has said multiple times, the shared mission is amazing, and people are there because they believe in it. And there's something to be said for being around people who believe and value the same things you do. That's who I want my kids to be around, is other kids and parents and adults who value some of those same things, so that they are, it's reinforcing what we're trying to teach at our home. So, I mean, I guess hopefully this isn't an overused example, but the senior capstone is something that's really easy to point to and say, because these are seniors who are about ready to leave our system and they've been in it for so many years, the capstone represents kind of a culmination of a lot of the different things they've learned in their faith and the skills they've learned and their leadership. And, just this year, to have 3 boys that are seniors that put on a classic car show to benefit disabled veterans of America. These are boys who all took auto mechanics through NCK Tech at TMP. So TMP does have great pathways. You can take culinary, you can take auto mechanics, pharmacy tech, a lot of these different things when you're juniors and seniors to prepare for your career after high school. But these kids said, we've learned about giving back. We've learned about our duty as Christians to help other people. How can we do that in a way that we like, that we are skilled in? And so they had been learning, and they love redoing cars. And so they had a car show, a classic car show, invited all the different people who are into cars onto campus. They had over 40. It was a bad weather day, right? So they didn't have anything in their favor when it came to that, but they still had over 40 different vehicles. People brought their vehicles. They paid an entry fee, and then they served hot dogs and just made it an event for people to come who like cars. And then those funds went to disabled American veterans. There was a 5K run earlier in the fall by 2 other seniors, and that benefited Dream Incorporated, which is a charity. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but they help kids who are in families who have addiction issues. So like if the parents are addicted to a substance and that's really impacting the home life, these kids are given therapy and counseling sessions with other kids who are from similar families and trying to help break that cycle of addiction. So just, I mean, and of course they're raising funds for Catholic charities, and they're raising funds for the food bank and all these different things that these kids are going out and they're picking to do. And I think that's a really something I always think you should brag about. I guess if you're going to brag about something, that's one thing I think it's good to brag about all the great things that these kids, these are 17, 18-year-old young adults, are doing in our community. And who knows what they're going to do in the future. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding when this program was started several years ago that TMP was really on the cusp being one of the leaders in that, because there are a lot of public institutions that are now thinking about going towards some type of model like
create
that.
Something, a secular version of the same thing.
Yeah. So, that I think I've got to brag on it too, because I love TMP. I love Holy Family. It's wonderful. I got to teach there, but having my kids there is such a blessing. I can't say enough about it. And that's one of those things too, that I'm just like, there's a lot of things that maybe people don't understand that our Catholic schools are actually leading in, not just like looking at and being like, oh, we should do that too, but actually at the forefront of saying this ought to be important. And then other people are like, oh, hey, yeah, you're right. Maybe we ought to do that. So Melissa, I'm going to get to you in just a second. First, I want to get to that trivia question that I promised people. So actually, do you want to read it? You wanna
No,
read the
no,
you don't want to read the
no,
trivia
no,
question?
no.
Oh, okay.
Not without preparing first. No.
Oh man, it's like giving
There
it
might
to
be
your
a tough
students,
word in
like,
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
there could be a tough word. I don't know.
Mispronounce it.
Father.
Yeah. I'll
So
have to hear it first.
if you think you know the answer to this question, you don't have to know. You just have to think you know, or take a shot. You've got 25% chance here. That's right, math lady. Right when we got
That's-
4. Okay, so call into 785-621-4110 with your guess, and if you get it right, we will put you in the drawing for this afternoon or this evening at 6 o'clock when we end. We will draw one winner who will get a $50 gift certificate to Messenger Traditional Catholic Books and Gifts here in Hayes. Jerome and Angela Schmeidler, they are the owners. They are wonderful people. Here is your question, 785-621-4110. Which priest in the Salina Diocese was ordained most recently? Ooh. Was it A, Father Andy Hammocky, B, Father Brian McCaffrey, C, Father Nick Parker, or D, Father Ryan McCandless? Which priest in the Salina Diocese was ordained most recently? A, Father Andy Hammocky, B, Father Brian McCaffrey, C, Father Nick Parker, or D, Father Ryan McCandless. 785-621-4110 for your guess or your pledge. You are listening to Divine Mercy Radio's Spring Care-a-thon, Come Follow Me. And as we're talking about that wonderful call of our Lord, Come Follow Me, we are here talking with Melissa Schoepf and Chad Meitner about Thomas More Prep Marian and the wonderful things going on in our Catholic schools. Asking you also as parents, and especially if you're listening and you don't have children, but you're considering maybe Catholic education, go talk to them. They'd love to be able to show you around the school. They'd love to be able to talk to you about what we can offer for your children in Catholic education. And as I've said, as a parent who have actually next year, all 7 of my children will be in Catholic school.
Nice.
That's awesome. I know what is also nice is I get to use the family cap.
Yes.
So thank you for that. But yes, there's so many things that Catholic schools can offer your children. First and foremost, that wonderful background in our faith. So I want to get back to Melissa Schoepf in just one second. Mary Schrader is our trivia winner. Congratulations, Mary. She got it right. The correct answer to the priest who was ordained most recently in our diocese is Father Brian McCaffrey. Nice job on that. 785-621-4110 for your pledges. Let's get back to talking with Melissa Schoepf and pick up right where we left off.
Yeah, just to kind of hit on what Chad said. When I look back at kind of when I first started teaching, it seemed like I taught math, and that's what I taught. And you've definitely seen a difference in education with the dealing of a lot of social, emotional things that kids are dealing with, and mental health and all of that. It is definitely have seen a shift since we have both became educators, for sure.
Yep.
And so being able to hit those hard topics with kids and be equipped to deal with that and kind of dig into them looking inside themselves too, and self-reflection and some of those virtues. And so one thing that I'm really, really proud of in the junior high is our ability that we've been able to start some of these mission service projects with the students. We stay local with a lot of our 6th and 7th graders. Like we said, Meals on Wheels, it got so big with so many kids wanting to do these things. They are just jumping fully in and wanting to give back to the community. Meals on Wheels, we had 5 days of junior high kids twice this year that we had carloads of kids wanting to go serve. We take 15 to 20, I feel like, every month to Good Sam's to make visits, and
Wow.
it's not asking, hey, who can go? It's we are having to like find ways to make extra trips.
You're gonna have to go next time because we're full already.
So full.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And the one that I'm really, really, really happy with is our Denver Samaritan trip that we make with 8th graders and their parents. Last year, this idea kind of came to light. Rick and myself and Melissa Pinkney and Rose McFarland, we decided that we had kind of thrown this around. Didn't know if it would be possible, especially with them being in 8th grade, to take groups out to Denver to work at the Samaritan House and kind of spend a weekend out there. We were very blessed to get the okay as long as a parent went. You've been along on that trip with your son, and it is growing. We were to the point this year where we actually added an extra weekend. We have a couple more that are still wanting to go that we're going to have to look at getting them when they get into high school. So it really kind of exploded this year.
Yeah.
And we've gotten more sponsors in. Mr. Meitner is gone now. We've got Brenda Rose in there, just been able to take more adult sponsors with us. But what a great weekend. I can't say enough about just that experience to have it with your child. I've done it as a sponsor and I've done it as a parent. And getting to spend the weekend with my daughter in that atmosphere and being able to kind of have those open conversations about, you know, a life that they really don't see much, and the struggles that other people are facing, and addictions and things like that. It's a great experience for our kids, I think, to just see that. And being able to, we visit Planned Parenthood. And I think one of the great joys that we saw this year was last year we would go and we would be off. When you go there, it's very kind of different. Like the Catholic side is on one side, and they're the ones that are silently praying and doing rosaries. And there's always a side on the other side that's a little more vocal. And I always tell the kids it's not our job to judge what's going on. Our job is to pray that whatever these hardships, these moms, dads, these unborn babies, whatever they're facing, it's our job to pray, you know, that they find options and resources and the struggles. And so the first year we've gone there, it's always been very busy. And there's been cars coming in and out. And the last time I went in September, there was not a single car going in the parking lot. There was no activity. There were still people praying. And one of our added stops has been the Marisol House, which is actually the only property on that corner that's not owned by Planned Parenthood. And it's a pregnancy center, resource center. And we went over there we go and volunteer there and help. They're all volunteer based too. Awesome. She said that Planned Parenthood had not been able to, they were having a staffing issue, and Saturdays is their biggest abortion day at that Planned Parenthood. And they had not been able to open for the past 6 months because they do not have enough staffing. So that was a huge, awesome thing to see, is and we pray that they cannot open on Saturdays, because the Marisol House out in Denver is trying to also help women, help everybody involved in that struggle of what's going on there. So that's one thing we all, when we're down in Denver, not only are we helping serve at the Samaritan House meals, and we're trying to get them out to see some different things and experiences, so that when these things come here pretty soon, high school hits, all these things, they're equipped to reflect and kind of make some tough decisions as they go through life too.
They've experienced a little bit of the reality of it, seen it.
I have to say that was great for my son to see also, because a lot of our kids have never, as you said, we don't see tent cities. We hear about homeless, and there are some homeless people in our community, but you really don't see them. And so it's almost like a are they really there thing living here in Hays. And when we went there, I was able to just point things out to kids and go, do you know what you're seeing right here? And for them to understand, no, those aren't people that are camping for the weekend. Those are people who have no homes. And especially when we talked about the cold weather that we were in, and there's only a certain amount of people that get into these shelters. After that, you just get turned away because they don't have any more room.
And it's, and a lot of good questions come out of that weekend. The kids ask a lot of things, and you can tell they're really processing the reality of the harshness of the world sometimes. And being able to experience that as a mom with my daughter was even more powerful. I mean, I love my weekends with all of our families, but it definitely brings a different aspect when you're with your child, and you're starting to see that processing take place. And even as adults, it's hard. It's very hard to stomach some of that stuff. Absolutely. And like I said, when that's what we're there. We're there to help where we can help, and to offer prayer. And to these families and to all of them.
Wow, what a wonderful opportunity that the school is giving.
Yeah.
I
I
love
love
it.
it. I love that this is just growing.
Yeah.
We talked, are we going to be able to sustain this? Are we going to have faculty that can take groups out? Are we going to have groups that continue to sign up? And this 8th grade group, they jumped headfirst right in.
Wow.
So
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, it's starting the word of mouth. The kids come back and tell their friends about it. And I think that's starting to, the first year it was kind of like struggle to get people to sign up because they didn't really know what it was about. And now they know. And now I think the kids are looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think the 7th graders are hearing about it and they're like, oh, I can't wait till it's my turn.
I know.
And they get to bring their parents along, which is so beautiful. We really, I think, focused the last few years. How do we get the families more involved? Because that's our job. Our service is to the families.
Yeah.
The church creates the ministry of Catholic schools, not to be prestigious or whatever. They create that ministry so that we can assist the family in raising their children in the faith. And this is an amazing example of that family outreach. And we hope that the families find that it's helping them do their jobs, because raising kids is tough.
Absolutely. And that another one of the beautiful things about that is they're not going to Worlds of Fun and coming back and being like, wait till next year when you can go.
Yeah.
Right.
They're going to serve the poor, and they're coming back and saying, wait till next year when you get to go.
Yeah.
Now there are some things that we get to do on that trip, go to the Mother Cabrini house. I mean, that's pretty fantastic and amazing to be able to do. But yeah, the weekend is centered on serving your fellow man. So that's wonderful that there's such a huge response to wanting to go.
And I think the kids always sometimes think, well, should this be almost feel this piece of like, I enjoy it, and it's kind of a struggle there. But the people at the Samaritan house, they love our kids. They've gotten, it was kind of the same thing when it first started. Okay, here's a group coming in. Yeah, we probably won't see them again. But now we're there every month, and those workers that we work with, they're the same people every month that we work with. And honestly, those are the ones that they are the most appreciative, because if we aren't there, their job is a lot harder. So we're meal prepping, we're food prepping, and if we're not there, and so they've come to know the TMP group very well. They look forward to us out there every month because they know that we're bringing a hardworking group that's going to help make their lives easier, even if it's just for 2 days. It's 2 days that they get.
Wow.
So it gives Hayes a good reputation, because they know we're from Hayes, Kansas, and they kind of like, where's that at? And and they're associating that now with this service. So
awesome. Well, thank you very much for providing that. That is a wonderful thing. You guys are listening to Divine Mercy Radio Spring Care-a-thon. Come follow me. Call in with your pledges to 785-621-4110. We have some great supporters and some wonderful people in our listening areas. We have the Lindsborg and Salina area. We have Hayes, Great Bend, Colby. We have these 5 great stations, because we have 2 of them here in Hayes, that try to cover as much of Kansas as possible. If you enjoy listening, which I do, that's pretty much all that my radio station is ever on if I'm listening to it. So we appreciate it. We ask that you would join us in our mission of spreading the gospel message of Christ out there into our world. So call in with those donations, 785-621-4110. We are completely listener funded. That means that we are funded specifically by you. We do still have some of those matching funds, somewhere between $9,000 and $10,000 of matching funds left. So let's use up those funds if we can by the end of the day. Let's see what we can do to get them all used. Make your donation doubled as soon as you give to us, and we will make sure that your money goes to good use and is used to help build up the kingdom of Christ. We are on talking with Melissa Schoepf and Chad Meitner about the Catholic schools in our area, what they can offer, what they do, and some of the wonderful things that are coming out of them. So I want to get right back into that then. We've got about 10, 11 minutes left here for anything else that you guys would like to point out that is really a kind of a gold star for our Catholic schools here in Hayes.
I think when I look at the reasons families send their kids to Catholic school, because it is a sacrifice. Even with the stewardship model, every family is still expected to do what they can to help make Catholic schools possible. But I think some of the reasons they pick our schools is some spiritual, some just practical things like small class sizes. We have an amazing faculty who not only gets to ply their trade with really good kids, but there is a manageable number of kids in every classroom. I think our average classroom size is 16. There are a lot of classes that are like 10 to 12. So the teachers can really, kids who are really, really bright and gifted can get challenged. Kids who may struggle and need that extra support can get it when those class sizes are that size. So that's kind of a gold star or a feather in our cap. I think it's a safe space. Our classrooms, whether it's science classroom, religion, history, it's a safe place to discuss topics of morals and ethics for these kids, to have discussions of discovery, because it's a place where they're going to get the truth, and they're also going to get that and have an opportunity to explain and make it their own. Mentioned the customized education, because I think the individuals matter at TMP, and we're going to work with your kids. And sometimes it's not academic. Sometimes we're working with kids on discipline and behavior things. And that's when we really want the family to say, hey, we're working with you. We're not out to get your kid. We're out to help them learn how to behave and thrive in the world. Yeah. And so when we work together, and the students, they develop, and it's amazing when you look. It's not immediate. It may take a few years, but that slow evolution from, okay, here you are as a 7th grader or an 8th grader, and now here you are as a junior, as a senior, and to see them mature and to see how far they've come. And I really believe that we have helped a lot of kids get off a path that was probably going to be not good for them in their futures, and get them onto a path that help them thrive. Yeah. So that structure and discipline is also, I think, a very important part of our schools.
Absolutely. Melissa?
I like the small class sizes. I think that's one nice thing that we have, because the kids definitely, the teachers know the kids. We know every student that walks through that door. We know them. Yeah. So, and the teachers know them. They develop these relationships because the teachers have a little bit, with the smaller group size, they're able to kind of focus in. And so kids walk in having a bad day. We pick up on that. Teachers pick up on that. Something seems a little off. We have people all over in that building that are picking up and able to check in on things and check in on kids. So I love that you're not going to fall through the cracks. You've got somebody. Yeah. There is at least one person in that building that is watching out for you and checking in and making sure that things are going okay. So it's a very team effort between the faculty, admin, staff, even our kitchen staff, they know the kid. I mean, all of them, and the maintenance staff,
they're great.
They all know these kids and build these relationships and follow them in sports and follow them in activities. And so we definitely try to give everybody a individual attention. Everybody's got somebody that they're watching out for.
Yeah, that's awesome that you brought up the kitchen staff, because I've talked with them before, and they love the kids there. Our folks in the kitchen, they love being able to, that's their ministry.
Feed the hungry.
Definitely. And I've talked to them, and there's several of them that just, they love seeing the kids. They love seeing their smiles. And they also, like you said, they pick up sometimes when I know this kid and they're not acting right, and they might even ask them through the line, hey, how's it going today? Yeah. That very individualized approach is really awesome to see.
Yeah. It's not uncommon for us to get a phone call, or, they'll stop us and say, hey, something's a little just, maybe not as smiley as they normally are. And that, then that cues all of us that we need to do a little check-in and see how things are going. And it could be nothing. And sometimes it's just that age, and sometimes it's
the age.
Different things like that. But we definitely want to make sure that we're keeping kids' mental health and social where it needs to be. So great kitchen staff, great maintenance staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one other thing that maybe I could bring up that you guys could speak to is, especially when it comes to scores. That's another thing too, is, first and foremost, TMP is a Catholic school. You go there for any amount of time, you're going to know it. We're not just a private school with some sort of Catholic identity or something. No, it's Catholic. But it's a stringent school. And I think that our test scores show that. Can you guys talk to that at all?
Yeah, we take a lot of assessments. Sometimes we talk about, do we take too many? But I think we've got it at a good place where in the junior high, I'll let Melissa talk about the assessments they take. But at the high school level, we give the freshmen the ACT 8-9, and then sophomores take the pre-ACT, and then as juniors and seniors, our kids are expected to take the ACT. Unless their pathway is just definitely not a four-year college, then then they don't have to take the ACT. But we really like them all to take the ACT if possible, just to almost monitor our own curriculum and our progress in teaching them. We want every kid to have the opportunity to learn what they need. Not everybody's going to get a 34 on the ACT, but we want every kid to at least have the opportunity to learn what's going to be tested on the ACT.
Absolutely.
So that they can do their best. And of course, there are state assessments that we are a part of, and those scores are always above the national average. I can say that pretty confidently. The state average as well. But we feel like we can do better. We feel like there's phases. Right now, the ACT is kind of, in some minds, it's not important anymore. There's just been a shift since the pandemic, a lot about, well, it's test optional to get into college, or the tests are only really if you want to get into an elite university. But really, we're seeing that there's a lot of advantages to being able to do well on that, because if you do go to a college, you're going to have a leg up over kids on scholarships and packages from the universities. And so we definitely always want to keep improving those scores, even though we're always above the state and national averages. We don't want to just rest on our laurels.
No, but I think that's a great thing. That it's also your kids will be challenged, but that's a good thing for them.
Yeah, we'll help them. We aren't going to be arbitrary about it. I always tell parents, if your kid's coming home with like more than 90 minutes of homework a night and they're struggling and you don't feel like you're getting much communication from the teachers, let me know, let Melissa know, because then we can try to step in and find out why, because that's not the expectation, is just to be tough. It's absolutely, it has a purpose, and the purpose is to learn. So there'll be support for them. But we have standards, and we know kids can get there. A lot of kids don't think they can. They don't believe in themselves until they push through and do it. And then all of a sudden, watch out, because now they realize they can do hard things.
Absolutely.
And they, it kind of, this past Sunday, the Hayes Arts Council had their writing for poetry and stories. And so had the honor to get to go to that. And that is one thing I will say is our kids know how to write. I think that's kind of always been known too, when they get into universities, or people come back and say you can always tell TMP kids because of their writing. And that was apparent. I was so proud of our kids at that on Sunday. It was like a clean sweep across the junior high levels in 7th and 8th grade. And we had kids placing honorable mention, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, all the way across, and high school kids. And so, so proud of them. And I'm proud of those teachers too, for pushing them to learn those skills, to be able to write and to be able to express themselves. And it was awesome. So I know sometimes it's hard. And I know those papers, when they write, those kids can get overwhelmed. I see that. Still teaching a little bit, but they definitely get rewarded. They don't see it right away, but it comes down the road. So
it starts at Holy Family. I think they set that foundation of grammar and spelling and even handwriting, which is becoming a lost art, right? Learning cursive, and then that carries on into the junior high, where they're challenged at that next level, and then by the time they get to their senior year, they're writing college level research papers. And even if you're not going to college, being able to organize your thoughts, do the research, figure out things, put it into a cohesive package is so important regardless. And our teachers are doing a bang up job on that.
Fantastic. All right. We've got about 1 minute left. Is there anything that you guys want to leave us with before we go here today?
Just thanks for having us, giving us opportunity to come and talk about our schools and brag them up a little bit. We're both very incredibly proud of our students and parents and families. And so to have the opportunity to kind of come and brag them up a little bit, we appreciate for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're blessed to be able to come to work every day. It's hard sometimes, but we're blessed to be able to be involved in people's lives in this way. And I'll just leave, I guess, if could be the last comment, with a little hanging plug, I guess, is that there's exciting things to come. And, we've been very blessed. Our bishop's always blessed us, and he's going to continue to bless us. And so we've got good, exciting news coming up this summer. And we just hope that people are excited and continue to stay involved, because we're excited to be the ministry of the Catholic Church that we are.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both so much. Thank you for your stewardship to our schools and for everything you guys do. We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thanks. You are listening to Divine Mercy Radio's Spring Care-a-thon. Come follow me. We just had a wonderful interview here, and talking with both the junior high principal and the high school principal at Thomas More Prep Marion. And so please continue to support those schools, support our Catholic identity here in Hayes, and in all over our listening area. The Catholic schools in the Salina Diocese are just wonderful schools. And so continue to support them. And we thank you also for your continued support to our station. I see here and want to thank very much Keith and Jennifer Murmis. They pledged $50. So it tells me that they're listening while we are talking about Catholic schools. Thank you so very much, Keith and Jennifer, for your support of Catholic schools and for your support of this radio station. So with their pledge of $50, that immediately became $100 because of those matching funds we still have. And if you're wondering how to give, there's a couple ways. You can call in to 785-621-4110, or you can actually go on to our website at dvmercy.com, and you can donate right there. So call to 785-621-4110 with your pledge, and we will get you going, and we will get those matching funds in here so that we can keep these radio waves on the air. So we want to thank you guys for pledging all of your hard-earned money. We thank you for being a part of our mission. We pray for you and ask that you pray for us. You are listening to Divine Mercy Radio, 101.7 KJDM Lindsborg and Salina, 105.7 KMDG Hayes, 88.1 KRTT Great Bend, 88.1 KVDM Hayes, and 89.1 KGOH Colby. Thank you so very much for listening. We are going to get Michael Lager back on here for just a few minutes, and then we're going to break in with Father Brian Lager. I think these two know each other a little bit. So we're going to let Michael update us on some things with the radio station, and then we'll be right back on with Father Brian. Stay with us.
All righty. Good morning, Divine Mercy Radio. You may have heard my voice a little bit on PSAs. We have those that sometimes breaks during our shows that we have here. But I wanted to offer out to all of you that if your church has something going on, or your school has something going on, or just anything like that, we do run PSAs free of charge. So right now, what I do, part of my job here, is that I write up the PSAs, and then I have somebody record them, or I record them, and we put them out there to let you guys know what's going on. So, for example, we had Melanie Lager on yesterday, and she was talking about St. Martin's Church renovations, and they're having a church blessing on May 26th for that. And so we have a PSA out in the Colby area and the Hayes area for that, to help and let people know. So if you have something that your church is doing, or you need something announced to people that's going on, feel free to reach out to us here at Divine Mercy. You can find ways to contact us on our website. That's dvmercy.com. And we will do our best to get something out on the airwaves for you. I already have about 5 or 6 things lined up for next Monday that we're going to put out there. So feel free to reach out to us just to tell us and let us know what you need to be put on the radio. I also wanted to talk about underwriting. So we don't sell advertisements because we're a nonprofit, but we do allow businesses to underwrite on our radio waves. So we have double-edged sword, we have one body, and people underwrite for that. And normal programming, you might hear some of the people that support us in this way. But currently we're looking for more underwriters. And with underwriting, your business gets played about 5 to 10 times a day, depending on the area you're in. In Salina and Colby, we don't have as many underwriters there. So if you were to come on for Divine Mercy Radio in the Salina area or the Colby station, your business is going to get played way more than just 10 times a day. We have big openings for that. So we have a few different options. But I also want to mention too that we have, if you are looking for old interviews that have happened, we do have on our YouTube channel and Rumble, you can go back and watch the old live streams. So if you missed a program, an hour that you wanted to see that happened earlier this show, you feel free, go back to our YouTube channel. You can also find a link to that on our website, dvmercy.com. It'll show you everything's on our website. I just go to the website. We have so much information on there that's very important for that. So feel free to go there, but you can go back and watch any of the interviews that we have today. They're all there. They're in a playlist called Spring Care-a-thon 2024. So feel free just to go back and do that. Father Brian is here now, so he'll be coming in here. We'll get Cody back here to do the interview for that in a second. But thank you all for listening in. Cody's coming back now. So just to let you know, if you want a PSA that you have needed to be read out, please feel free to do that. We have underwriting opportunities as well. And just a reminder, our YouTube channel has all of the interviews from this Care-a-thon and previous Care-a-thons on it. And you can go back and listen to any of those at any time whenever you want.
All right, we are back, folks. Thank you to Michael for giving us an update on some of those things, and appreciate him reminding us of the online options that we have there. And also, I wanted to remind you that if you guys go to watch live, that you can type into those chats, and we will get a question, especially because we have Father Brian Logger coming in, and he's going to talk about, I think you're going to talk about how you entered the priestly life and stuff. Is that correct? I think so, yeah. Okay, let me turn your mic on there. He says he thinks so. He doesn't know. He just comes in and like, sure, what about talking about?
Well, whenever they ask me what I want to talk about, I never have an idea what to talk about. And I said, well, if the theme is come follow me, it seems appropriate to talk about